What is the status on the run part? Maybe you can type in the chat. How many of you are done with maybe 1 or 2 runs? All right, just in case if you're stuck somewhere, okay, Vinay is saying you're done with 1 run. All right, 2 trial runs Sashi is done with. Okay, so when is the last day for your overall runs? Tomorrow. Okay, so let's make sure that all of you are done with your runs by tomorrow. Both the runs. I think the runs won't take much time. You have around 4 years of decisions to be made. And I think we already had the demo, so you should be quite clear with. Try to chase the profit part. See if you can increase your market share, while anyways, the revenue is required to go up while you're chasing profits and market share, okay? When I saying not able to understand why the variable cost excessively increases after year 4. So maybe Vinay, you would want to check if you're looking at the unit variable cost or if you're looking at the total variable cost. Okay, if you're looking at the total variable cost, it will go up. It is a factor of your unit variable multiplied by the quantity you make. So if you make more quantity, your variable will go up, right? Total variable cost will go up because you're producing more products. So your overall total variable cost is just a function of quantity multiplied by unit variable cost. Okay. Now the unit variable cost will also increase if you switch your product from a liquid base to, let's say, the pods and powder. Okay, so or a powder base to, let's say, liquid or pods. Pods is the most expensive one. So if unit variable cost is increasing and you're producing more, then there will be a substantial increase in the total variable cost. Okay, so check on that. That should be good to go. Okay. All right, let's get started off with our session 4. And this is our last session in terms of the live session interactions. The next session that we have on the coming Tuesday, that will be related to the simulation briefing part, where we look at what was your experience of the simulation, how did it go? Maybe we have a quick chat around what are the concepts that could have been used, how could you have scaled up? And we'll have some of you presenting itself their strategies which led them to the highest numbers. Okay. Now, in our session today, we look at the campaign analytics and market mix modeling, which is basically the top of the funnel analytics. Before this, we have looked at product analytics, product and pricing in the last session. That was middle of the funnel. Before that, we were starting off with the customer behavior analytics part, where we started off with bottom of the funnel exercise. So let's take a quick review overall. We are in our session number 4, which is mapped to module 4 in your asynchronous content with the UGL platform. That is about marketing campaign. Out of those things, there are certain important concepts that we'll kind of cover up. We'll have an exercise where you guys will probably practice it out. And we'll also kind of cover a few concepts from session number 3, which we could not cover in our last session. Okay. So over here, if I first tell you about the session 4 plan, as far as the topics are concerned. So we look at the campaign analytics. We will look at the concepts which are from email marketing, from offline and online marketing itself. We look at from the perspective of digital marketing, various areas, SEO, SEM, social media, how we can look at the analytics part. We look at some of the social media analytics demo. And if the time permits, I'll also show you the demo for MailChimp account, which is for email marketing. We look at the marketing automation part and use that for understanding marketing mix modeling. We'll conclude the session by looking at one of the case studies, which is for an organization or a company, which is a global brand, entered India, and then they have plans to further scale. Okay, so we kind of look at that brand towards the later half of the session. And then you guys will also contribute from your perspectives about how to go about the strategy for this particular brand. Okay, that will be from marketing mix modeling perspective. Now, before we get into the session 4 aspect, let me take you back to session 3, a few things that we had to kind of cover for. So we were looking at the concept of customer engagement and loyalty. This is where we had closed our last session. So over here, if I take you back to the middle of the funnel exercise, product and pricing analytics, then you will find that almost every time customer engagement and customer loyalty, these are those terms which you find a lot being talked about these days. So let's have a formal discussion and an understanding about this. Now, all of us remember about the IDA model, which was what was creating the entire customer journey from awareness till the loyalty expansion part. Now, what happens is when people or our target customers are going of interactions at various touch points, there is an emotional connection also that builds between a customer and the brand. Now, better this engagement or better this emotional connection, we consider that customers will be highly engaged, and if they are highly engaged, then they will buy more, even promote more, and this will result in customer loyalty. So our idea is, when we are taking the customers through the entire customer journey or the funnel, we would want them to be highly engaged even after they have bought the product. Now, this is something which is where the highest level of customer engagement leads to customer loyalty, which is a result of consistently positive emotional experiences. So if we are able to optimize all the touch points, digital, offline, where at every touch point, the customer is feeling happy, the customer is kind of delighted about our approach, then this is where the customer loyalty will start building in. Now, why customer loyalty we are bothered about? Because if you need to build a sustainable business, then you need strong customer loyalty, because then only the customers will keep on coming back, your brand will get built, and this will lead to higher profits. The sustainability is an important game in the entire exercise, which is where we beat the competition, and maybe we decrease our marketing budgets also if the brand gets stronger. Now, in order to understand from the quantitative perspective how customer engagement will be measured and how it will result in customer loyalty, we will kind of look at the gaming as an example. Maybe if you look at the industry itself, there are various games which are very popular. Okay, now anyone of you over here into any of the mobile games or online games? Let's see, anyone has been playing anything, doesn't matter which game, but we'll try to understand the customer engagement part from there. So any game that comes to your mind where you guys are involved or you have seen people playing with, for example, let's say in my case, probably at one point of time, I was hooked on to Call of Duty. Maybe Ludo is something which is still there on the family enjoys it during the free times. So any other games that come to your mind which have been quite popular or you have been engaged with? Okay, Candy Crush is one. All right, Shreya saying. Okay, so in these cases, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Ludo, how can we measure customer engagement? How the company gets to know or the game owner gets to know that the game is performing quite well? How can we measure that? Any metric that you would look at? And this is just a normal discussion. Don't worry about being right or wrong. You can put forward your opinions. Any particular metric which you look at to check whether the game is going successful or not. Okay, when I saying probably we look at daily active users, all right, fair enough. Okay, we also have another point which is from Caravilla Panda, duration of use. Okay, so there are two important points which have been put across. Anything else even more basic? When I was also saying subscriptions, also probably we would like to see. Time spent and login is what Nilesh is saying. So if we combine the answers from duration of use and time spent and the login part, there are a couple of things along with daily active users which people are looking at. Okay, can we also look at the ratings? Do Android store gives a rating? Does Android store has a rating of the game? Yes, right. So we can look at those star ratings if you have seen. Almost, I guess, on iOS store as well or an Android store as well, you have app rating. Okay, you can get the game ratings. Then, of course, we have customer feedback. Now, let's look at this video, which is about basically measuring engagement. And you will find that very logical flow of things can be kind of looked at to understand the customer engagement. And this is something which you guys have also kind of mentioned in the chat as well. So let's look at how technically things are being measured from the customer engagement perspective. Okay. So this is from the gaming industry itself. Let me just put this video up. I'll just share the sound. I have already buffered it this time, so I think it should be faster. Okay, I hope you guys should be able to hear the sound.
Tell if a game is actually engaging. Well, we can usually look at how popular the game is
Okay, let it.
by finding out if the game is downloaded a lot and if the reviews are good. For example, here we can see game apps in the Amazon App Store.
Just give me 1 minute. Probably I'll increase the resolution. Okay, I'll play it from the beginning now. I think this should be fine now.
Tell if a game is actually engaging. Well, we can usually look at how popular the game is by finding out if the game is downloaded a lot and if the reviews are good. For example, here we can see game apps in the Amazon App Store. And we can see the number of reviews and the star rating from 1 to 5 stars. And this gives us a good idea of how engaging our game is. If the game has a rating close to 5 stars, it's probably pretty fun. And if it's lower, then maybe there's something the users don't like about it. We can also look at how long and how often players use our game and measure engagement. Here are some terms we use to measure it: session count, session length, and retention. Session count is the number of times an app is launched. So anytime a player opens the app, whether that's once a week or 10 times a day, the session count goes up. And if we look at the average session counts for a player over a day, we can get a pretty good idea of how addicting our game is. But some games are designed for longer sessions instead of multiple short sessions, so the session length is also important. Session length is the amount of time that the app is in use for a particular session. So whether that's a few minutes or going on and on to lengths of hours. And again, for this to be a useful metric, we would usually look at the average session length across users to see how long a typical user plays once they open the app. And we also look at retention, which is a measure of how many users continue to play your game as time goes on. Usually, game retention is measured a day after your game is first launched and downloaded, a week after, and a month after, just to see how many of your original players you keep over time. Say you want to measure retention over a week for the game Fruit Ninja. That means you want to see how many people who started at the beginning of the week are still around at the end of the week. During the week, some of these early users will leave Fruit Ninja and new ones will join, but we don't want to take into account the new ones. We just want to see who started at the beginning of the week and stayed throughout the whole week. To calculate this, you need to look at the users at the end of the week, minus any of the newcomers who joined in the middle of the week, all divided by the number of users that started at the beginning of the week. Then multiply all this by 100 to get a percentage, and this is going to be your retention for the week. So let's look at some numbers for Fruit Ninja. Let's say we had 400 people download the game at the start of the week, and there's 700 total by the end of the week. That looks pretty good. But we also know that 500 of these people are new. They joined in the middle of the week, and they aren't part of our 400 original starting players. So let's calculate the retention. First, we have 700 from the end of the week, minus the 500 new players that joined midweek, so we're only accounting for our original 400 to see who stuck around, all divided by our 400 original players, then times 100 to get a percentage. This is going to be 200 over 400, or half, times 100%, which is going to give us 50% retention over this week, which is pretty good. Ideally, we'd want 100% retention, which means everyone who downloads your game keeps playing it and never quits. But no game has perfect retention, and even really great games have around 50% retention after just the first day. That means that half the players leave during the first 24 hours of playing. This seems like a lot of people leaving, but it's considered pretty good retention, especially if your game is good at getting new players over time. It won't matter that a lot of older ones leave. Lots of developers use a 40-20-10 rule as a guideline for good retention over a day, a week, and a month. So after a game is downloaded by a bunch of people, we have 100% of people, 40% of those users stick around after the first day. 20% of those stay for a week, and only 10% stay for a whole month, and even longer usually. If you have retention at these time points, a day, a week, or a month, that's higher, that's great. If it's any lower, that's considered bad retention.
All right. So over here, I think in very simple words, some really good thoughts have been put across, which is for measuring the engagement part as well, and for looking at how we can measure it from the analytics point of view. Okay, I think some of the points that you guys also mentioned, which was about the duration, daily active users, the duration of games itself, the times of use, and multiple times people are using it. Now over here, we can kind of club it up and also see it in other areas. So the gaming concept, which is depicted over here for the measurement part, has also been adapted across the e-commerce industry. Now, here is a case study in case of Amazon. So let's say if you look at Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, Myntra, in all these kinds of e-commerce players, there are certain specific metrics in alignment with what we saw on the gaming side, which are being looked at to measure engagement rates. Okay, so as an analytical person, if you're working in, let's say, Amazon has a CET team, which is Customer Engagement Technology team, and they have a target of looking at a few metrics. Here are those metrics which I'll just kind of talk about. Metric one they look at is guest checkout rate. Okay, now guest checkout rate is the number of customers who complete a purchase without making an account. Okay, so you go to Amazon.com, you don't log in into your account, you just do a guest checkout, and this is where they're looking at guest checkout rate. The idea is when a customer creates an account, there are more chances that they will come back frequently to Amazon and do the shopping. Okay, so they consider that probably people are more engaged if they have at least created an account with Amazon.com and they are logging in. The second metric that they look at is purchase frequency, which is also quite logical flow of the thought process. How often your customers are making purchase at your store. Okay, now this can be adapted for the offline part as well or the online part. The number of orders is what we look at over the entire year, and then divide by the number of unique customers. So we get on an average, what is that number of orders that one customer is making. Now, of course, if people are only one customer is coming back again and again and making more and more orders on your particular company or a store, then of course you're doing quite a good job. You can compare it with your historical performance, or we can compare it with the competition as well. So is Amazon doing better than Flipkart or better than Myntra and so on and so forth? That can be kind of looked at. Now, another thing which is also quite important for differentiation with respect to the business part is average order value. Now, average order value is the average amount a customer is spending while they are making a purchase. So over here, just like in case of purchase frequency, we look at total orders, but here we look at the total value of those orders, and we'll divide it by the total number of orders that were made. So we get a ticket size, which is the average order size. And if this number is higher for us, then we are doing a great job. Okay, so over here, let's say if you work as a category manager, product manager, or a brand manager, all these kind of roles, one of the target which is given is, can you increase your ticket size for the customer? Can you increase the customer lifetime value or average order value, and so on and so forth? So over here, this is where you would want to work on your product mix. What should be my product portfolio? What should be my pricing strategy so that my average order value increases? Another metric which is being looked at is repeat purchase rate. So the percentage of customers we want to measure who are actually making not just one purchase, but they are making multiple purchases over a time period. So higher this number, out of your total customer base, higher is the chance that you are building a good amount of engagement and you're also building a good amount of loyalty. Maybe people are having your brand as top of the mind when they want to purchase something. Okay, so this is something, these are 4 very simple matrices. Now, on the basis of these 4 matrices, we can combine and create more product and pricing matrices. But overall, you'll find that in the industry, most of the measurements are around these 4 parameters. As far as average order value and engagement is concerned, so if we look at the average order value and we also look at the duration, the frequency of purchases, if you also start looking at how many times people visited, then we'll get to know how many visits are the customers taking before making a purchase. So if they're very engaged, then probably in the first visit itself, they will buy something. Maybe if the average order value is high, then it is even better. We can also compare average order value by looking at the conversion rate. If you look at average order value multiplied by the conversion rate, we get an idea of the overall revenue per visitor, which is a very important metric these days in e-commerce itself. Along with the average order value, the lifetime value of the customer. So let's say the customer stays with us for 10 years. Over the 10-year period, if the average order value was a particular number, then we can multiply average order value with the average lifespan and get the lifetime value of the customer. Now, this lifetime value can be compared with customer acquisition cost. And if our lifetime value is higher, then we are doing a good job. We are building a profitable business. And this is something that you guys would have also observed in our first session when we were looking at the business model part, when we looked at customer acquisition costs and such. Now, these were a few things which were there on the product and pricing analytics side. If we look at the tests which are conducted, let me quickly take you through a few concepts first, and then we'll take it forward towards the other part. Now, from the marketing person point of view, if you look at this exercise, which is where we are going to kind of look at your thought process and then try to build a common consensus about which digital marketing team is doing a better job over here. Okay. Now, see it as a marketer, even if you have never worked in the marketing part, you've never created ad, doesn't matter. What you have to judge is, look at this ad from Canon, and on the right hand side, there is a ad from Nikon. Okay. Now, Canon is selling their product EOS R, and they are running this ad on Facebook. Whereas on the right hand side, Nikon is doing the product promotion for Nikon Coolpix L340. You can look at the call to action button. People will click on the ad and do shop now, basically make a purchase. And similarly, in case of Nikon Coolpix also, they are kind of asking for quick sign up. You will be able to sign up and lock in these prices. And there is this offer which is going on from Nikon. Okay. Now I'll show you the numbers, and then you guys tell me which digital marketing team did a better job. Let me take you through some numbers. So in case of Canon, the budget that the marketing team spent for the month was 1 lakh rupees, and they got 10 lakh impressions. Now, what is the meaning of impressions? Impressions is the total number of views which happened. Okay. Now, when we look at impressions, even if one person is seeing the ad for 10 times, that is 10 impressions. Okay. So over here, in 1 lakh rupees of budget, Canon could reach out to create 10 lakh views. Out of these 10 lakh views, they got 2,000 clicks. So 2,000 people clicked on the ad. And after that, they would have gone to the website where 20 people purchased the camera. Okay. So over here, the cost of the camera is 50,000 rupees. So 20 multiplied by 50,000, that is 10 lakh rupees of revenue is what Canon got out of this campaign. Okay. Now, let me show you the numbers also for Nikon, and then you guys take a guess on which is doing better. In case of Nikon also, they spent a budget of 1 lakh. And over here, they were able to create 5 lakh views. Okay. So number of impressions in this case is 5 lakhs. Out of these 5 lakh views, they were able to get 2,000 clicks. And out of these 2,000 clicks, people went to the website and 40 people purchased the camera. Now here, the cost of the product was 20,000, and 40,000 multiplied by 40 multiplied by 20,000 is 8 lakhs. Okay, so 8 lakhs of revenue is generated by Nikon's team over here in 1 lakh budget. Now, what you guys have to tell me is which digital marketing team is doing a better job if you're looking at from the analytical point of view. Okay, so you can mention your responses in the chat. Take your time and don't worry about being right or wrong. You can mention about why do you think which team did better. First of all, just choose one team. Is Canon doing a better job or Nikon's team is doing a better job? Let's see what majority of you are saying. Okay. All right. Who's going ahead first? Anyone taking a quick call? Nilesh is saying probably Nikon. Vinay is saying Canon. Madhuri is saying Nikon. Nazneen is also saying Nikon is doing a better job. Okay. Shashi is saying Canon. So we have 2 people saying Canon. We have 3 people saying, okay, now we have an equal split. 3 people are saying Canon is doing a better job. 3 people for Nikon as well. Now we have 4 people for Canon. Okay, so the majority is saying, and how many people we have? Let me just check. Okay, I guess almost everyone has taken a stand. Okay, so we have a majority of the people, in fact, just one number more for Canon, and otherwise we have 5 people for Canon, 4 for Nikon. Okay. Now, how are we judging it? Which is the number that you're looking at for figuring out who's doing a better job? Okay, Madhuri is saying probably looking at impressions. Nazreen is saying probably conversions. Sashi is saying impressions. Okay, so there are 2 numbers people are looking at: impressions and conversions. Okay. Vinay is looking at cost per conversion. Okay, so there is one person who's looking at the cost per conversion. Eunice is saying looking at both impressions and conversions together. So 3 metrics have been put forward: impressions, conversions, and the cost per compression. Okay. Now let me give you another hint, and let's see. Do you change your stance? Okay. So the statement that I'm making is: suppose you are the business owner, okay, and you have 2 teams. You are giving them 1 lakh rupees each, and the one team came to you and gave you 8 lakh rupees. Another team came to you and gave you 10 lakh rupees. Now, as a businessman, which one would you choose? None is saying 10 lakh, right? I think this is a common sense ask. Of course, we will look at the 10 lakh part. Whoever is giving me as a businessman, I would just look at how much money I'm getting at the end. Okay, so all of us would look at 10 lakh. Okay, now revenue is of course an important factor, and more than revenue, it would have been profit as well. Okay, so if here we don't know the cost of the camera itself, I mean the production cost and all, but let's just assume, let's just limit ourselves to the revenue basis for simplicity. So if I see from the business angle, Canon's team did actually a great job. Okay, they gave me in 1 lakh, they gave me 10 lakh of revenue. Nikon team gave me 8 lakhs. Okay, however, is there something that Nikon's team did better? What is that thing which Nikon is doing better as compared to Canon? Conversion, right? So why is the conversion high for Nikon? Any guesses? Why is the conversion? Okay, Eunice is saying probably price, discount. Okay, fair enough. Anything else apart from price and discount? Anything else? So there is an offer which Nikon was doing. Anything else apart from discount and okay, maybe website, fair enough. So maybe okay, I think Vinay has mentioned an important point as well, the target audience. So target audience is also an important part, right? Now, apart from this, do you think the copy of the ad matters? Would the copy of the ad making a difference? Yes, right? So over here, what becomes important for us to learn on the analytical side is when we look at so many numbers, first thing is to start making sense on the business side. So I look at, first of all, the business angle, how my budget was utilized. The second part is is there something to learn from both the teams? Okay, so if you look at Nikon, like you guys mentioned, conversions are quite high and they got more number of clicks from less number of people. Okay, so over here, Nikon's, maybe the clicks are high because maybe Nikon is writing a better copy. Their ad is better and maybe the discount 45% is really helping them. Apart from this, maybe they have a better understanding of the target audience. They had higher conversions. Maybe the landing page is doing a good job as well. So there are few things that we can learn from Nikon. Now, is there anything which Canon is doing better apart from revenue? Is there anything which Canon's team is doing well? Impressions, right? So over here, if you look at Canon, Nikon team should definitely look at and see how in same 1 lakh rupees, Canon got 10 lakh impressions. Okay, so this is a question which Nikon's team can look at, and maybe this can be about the timing of the ad. Should we run it in the day? Should we run it on a particular day during the night time, and so on and so forth. The target audience, however, of course, was better off targeted by Nikon, whereas Canon also, given their maybe they will be targeting a different audience, Nikon would be targeting a different audience. But overall, you will find that there is a scope for learning from both the approaches. Okay, so in both the teams, there is something which can be picked up from Nikon, something which can be picked up from Canon, and then over a period of time, we get better. That is how the not the digital marketing, but even the business, when we run it, we get better over a period of time by looking at the numbers. But these are important numbers, and that is where another part which becomes important is the testing part. So one of the tests that we do is called as A/B testing, and you will find that this is a very simplest part. We create maybe one ad with let's say a few combinations. We create another version of the ad with just one change at a time. Okay, so let's say I change the color. And in that case, I would monitor where my clicks are higher. That means the engagement is higher for that ad. And then I would get to understand which campaign is performing better. I'll start putting more budgets in whichever campaign is performing better. Okay, so that is A/B testing is a concept when you change one variable at a time. Okay, if you change more than one variable, so for example, I change the color also, I change the images, I change the text, then it is called as multivariate testing. Now, multivariate testing, just for the concept you can know about, but from the scope of our module per se, we are restricted to A/B testing. But just for your industry understanding, remember, when you change one variable, you do A/B testing. When you change multiple things in an ad, to test it out, we call it multivariate testing. One of the areas of multivariate testing is conjoint analysis. Now, in many times, you will find that it is not just one thing which is making a difference. People are buying a package. For example, look at this conjoint analysis. In conjoint analysis, what happens is we look at those products where multiple features are important. Okay, so let's say smartphones. If we compare Apple, Sony, Nokia, some of the important things which we want to understand is price the most important determinant of people purchasing the smartphone? Or is it operating system? Is it the screen size, camera resolution? So when we want to check multiple features and try to understand which feature is going to be the most important one, in that case, we use conjoint analysis. Okay, so over here, on the right hand side, you will see the depiction how it has been done. So let's say Apple came up with its proposition. We have an iOS based system. This is the price. This is 4 to 5 inch, 2 to 4 megapixel camera. And then trying to conduct an understanding of which is the most important part when it comes to buying. Okay, so let's say, suppose in the Indian market, price is an important part. Along with people are looking at the operating system, their experience should be good. Then maybe screen size as well, brand matters for some people, and camera resolution. So over here, whenever you have to understand among different variables or features, how's the relative importance and how should you package your product vis-a-vis the competition, then this is where we use conjoint analysis. Now, apart from this, there is also a new analysis which has built up, you will find that in your own experiences, NLP or natural language processing is a thing which is probably the futuristic part. Now, let me give you an example. In fact, I'll raise it as a question. Have you observed that when you use your smartphone and let's say your smartphone is near you, you're talking to your friends or family members, relatives, and suddenly the topic that you were talking about has also started coming on Instagram as a content for you. Has this happened for anyone? Let's say you're talking about ice cream and some brand, and that brand's content is kind of coming on Instagram. Okay, Nandini is saying yes. You would have also observed that this happens in these days, not only on Instagram, multiple social media platforms. And that is a classic example of natural language processing. Okay, so let's say smartphone, if you give, if you go to the permissions that you give from your smartphone to these apps, like the Chrome browser, along with WhatsApp, along with that, you have Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. So they have a microphone access. So basically, when you're not talking on calls, when you're just talking within your surroundings, the smartphones are listening. Okay, and these days the idea is, can we decode the language? So the smartphone is trying to decode the language, try to understand about the user. Now this can be a concern on the privacy side. Okay, so that is a debate which is going on, which is where of course there is a lot of hue and cry, but you can see what is happening in the space of natural language processing. Another part is voice search. So anyone has used voice assistant over here, like Amazon Alexa or a voice chatbot? Has anyone interacted? Siri, maybe on iPhones or Windows, you have Cortana, Microsoft from, yeah, I think you guys have done that. So over there also, the idea is, can we listen to what people are speaking? Can we convert into voice into text and then analyze the text to take decisions? Okay. Now, this can be used to identify trending topics, what generally people are talking about. How is the sentiment for a particular brand? We can look at content writing ideas. We can look at personalizing the content, and this will help us to drive better user decisions. Okay. So for example, on social media, when people are commenting a lot of things on social media, then we would want to understand what is the broad sentiment. Are people talking about positive things or negative things? So that is something which is where we have an application of NLP. And one of the areas which probably from the, yeah, Nazim also mentioned about an important point, which is pictures also recognize faces, QR codes, text, actions. Now, how do we use this as an analytical person? What should be our approach? So over here, what we do is we have various ways of conducting something called as sentimental analysis. Okay, now you guys can also kind of use some free tools which are available. For example, there is something called as monkeylearn.com. Let me just mention about it in the chat. So all of you, whenever you get time, use this free tool. Maybe you can start using this for some word cloud generation. Let me see if I can show it to you over here. So I'll just turn off my video because that will save me some bandwidth. So you can go to actually monkeylearn.com and type maybe certain comments which you have got from customers, okay, maybe on social media or on your website and so on and so forth, and maybe look at the data from 1,000 customers, 2,000 customers. You can create a word cloud through these tools and try to understand what are those words which are frequently appearing. That will help you to understand if there are a lot of complaints, then what is the topic around which the complaints are. If the people are talking about things which are positive, then what is that attribute which people are talking about? So those kind of analysis is something which we do using word clouds. I think, let's see if the tool loads up. Otherwise, just go to this monkeylearn.com and just type a random paragraph with some comments, generate the word cloud. Along with the word cloud, these tools give you sentiment analysis. So they pick up on certain keywords to understand if there is a positive sentiment or if there is a negative sentiment for a brand. Okay. Let me see if this loads up. Just give me 1 minute. I think it should work. Okay, by the time this is loading up. So also you will find that sentiment analysis is basically a classification into whatever customers are speaking about you on social media, about your brand. Is it positive or negative? So those kind of tools are also kind of available these days. Let's see if this works. Okay, so here on Monkey Learn's website, this is a free of cost tool. You can check for their free trial. This is how it works. Okay, so over here, you look at this feedback analysis. So we will have written, let's say, various comments, and this tool is analyzing these comments, is giving us by topic, which are those keywords around which the complaints are coming or feedbacks are coming. What is the sentiment about the topic? Okay, is it a positive thing or a negative thing? You can also see a keyword cloud, which is where, let's say, some words are written in a higher font, like update, time, page, app, Facebook. So maybe people are talking about them. Okay, let me see if I can run something for you guys. Okay, I think I'll have to start a free trial. Okay, I think that would take time. So I would suggest that maybe you guys once just visit this website and do an analysis. Let me see if I can for now do something here. Okay, let me check if we can build something right now. Yeah, this one is what you can use. So let's say customers are typing bad service experience. We can write something like these, just the random comments which are coming to my mind. Okay, I've just written some random text. You can create a cloud out of this, and this is just to show you how it looks like. Okay, now we can kind of have this on, suppose, a data from 10,000 plus customers. Now you can imagine, then you'll have a much better, understanding coming up or propping up. And on the right hand side, also you can look at the count wise understanding of, let's say, the words. Along with this, you have sentiment analysis. So let's say if I click on sentiment analysis, let's see if, yeah, so there is a positive sentiment based on whatever results. I think probably I wrote more of positive things, but you can have this sentiment analysis kind of generated. These kind of quick AI or ML based frameworks are available. Okay, so this is something which maybe you guys can also use in some of your work. I'll take you back to the part of word cloud and sentiment analysis. So over here, these were a few things which were there from our last session perspective. Just give me a minute, let it load up. Especially if you're working in a B2C company where there are a lot of customers writing too many things on your social media, reaching out to you via emails, interacting with your chatbots, then these are the areas which is where these tools or word clouds become really important these days. Now, apart from this, the word cloud and sentiment analysis, I think my slides are, we look at one last part, which is called as market basket analysis. Now, this market basket analysis from the concept perspective is the working of recommendation engines. Okay, Now, what are these recommendation engines? So these recommendation engines are when you are shopping online, let's say on an e-commerce website, you would have seen that there is a section which says recommended product. People who purchase this product also purchase these other products. Okay. Have you observed this kind of sections on Amazon.com? Anyone? Recommended products or similar products. Have you seen those? Have you observed those on e-commerce websites? Yes, right. So over here, the idea is they come from an analysis which we call as market basket analysis. Yes, glass protector with iPhone. Yeah, association rule mining is what Sashi has mentioned about it. So association rule is what Sashi is talking from the technical part is a very simple aspect from the concept per se. We will look at what are those things that people are buying, and those things which people are generally buying together. Then we'll try to create an association, okay, for a particular target segment. For example, let's say when people are buying diapers, they're also buying beer. Now we'll try to test this out. Is this really true? Is this having a statistical significance or not? If yes, then probably we will kind of create an association rule. Then that when people are buying products which are in the association set, let's recommend the other products as well along with it. Okay. So this is how you generate, let's say, the recommendation engines on e-commerce platforms. There are some good videos also available on YouTube about market basket analysis. Now, from our module perspective, we just need to be clear with the concept. We don't need to kind of technically know about the creation of the rules and all, but there are some good videos just in case if you want to understand how the algorithm works and so on and so forth. You may have a look at it. Okay. Now we will come to the last part from our previous session, which is about the pricing part. In pricing strategy, the thought process that a marketer or a marketing analytics person should know about is basically there are two decisions which are happening: quality and price. Am I paying for a high quality? Am I paying for a low quality product? And what is the amount that I'm paying? On the basis of this, as a businessman, I can take 4 different approaches. I can create a product with low quality or medium quality and try to go for low prices. This is where we are creating a product and offering basically for the masses. We call it economy level pricing. And the idea is to reach out to the masses. We want to play a volume game over here. The second part is, let's say there is intense competition in the market. And we want to kind of penetrate faster. Then in that case, what we will do is we'll create a good quality product and we'll sell it at a competitive price. So that is the penetration strategy part. Now, any company which has entered the Indian market using penetration strategy in the recent time period, if you see last 10-15 years, and it has become a market leader by penetration pricing, a very competitive market, and they entered the market, killed the competition, and then now they're working on their pricing. Jio, right? Jio is a classic example for penetration pricing. You will also find that at one point of time, Micromax was also trying to do that. Now, Micromax could not survive. Jio survived. Kia is also, by the way, they're trying to kind of make inroads. I would not say penetration pricing directly, but yes, compared to the European market, they have reduced the prices. Okay. Now coming to another part, which is skimming. Skimming is when I have a limited quantity of my product, but I know that there is demand. In this case, what I can do is I can skim the market. Maybe my product is not of that great quality, but I can charge a higher price. For example, tomatoes was a recent example. Okay. When things are in high demand, let's increase the price. Let's skim the market. So that is called a skimming strategy. And the last part is premium, which is where you have a high price and a high quality, and you're looking at maybe a specific target audience. Okay. Now, these are the 4 broad thought processes for the pricing decisions. And apart from this, also, we can further bifurcate and look at pricing strategies. Here are some which are extracted on the basis of the 4 concepts. For example, value-based pricing. The approach is what people think as a perceived value. Based on that, I will put put a price. Okay. Similarly, competitive pricing is I look at my competitors and then accordingly I'll price my products. Skimming, we already understood. Cost plus pricing is I look at my cost, decide on a particular profit percentage, and then accordingly we go for cost plus pricing. You will find that in lot of in the entire energy sector, it is kind of generally cost plus pricing. Penetration pricing, I think we already discussed. Economy as well. Dynamic pricing is a new thing, which is like skimming in one sense. But you would have seen this in IRCTC when you're booking train tickets. You will also see this in flight tickets via Make My Trip or other websites. But yes, dynamic pricing is something which is looking at the demand and then trying to put a price tag. Okay. In terms of premium pricing, the only thing that we need to know is when you want to create a premium pricing, there are few things which helps you to increase prices. One is, of course, the quality. The second is you make it luxury that only few people can afford it. The third thing is you make it unique. This is so unique that no one else is able to manufacture that product. Exclusivity, you have reserved it for certain specific customers. Okay, so these are four concepts which, let's say, if you guys are working in a brand which is in a premium segment or trying to get into a premium segment, you're trying to create your own business in a premium segment, then these are the four thought processes which generally people kind of keep. This is depicted over here via a campaign which is from Mercedes-Benz. Now you guys look at this campaign and then tell me, how is Mercedes-Benz trying to achieve their point over here? Okay, and what is that point they're trying to achieve? Let me just play this on YouTube. I think it will take me some time, but let me check. This is a Take the Wheel campaign. It was a famous campaign from Mercedes-Benz. It was a successful one from them. And you guys try to gauge what is Mercedes-Benz trying to do over here for creating their premiumness, okay, or a premium pricing. It's a very short video, kind of a 1 minute one. Okay, let it load up. If there's an ad, I think this should be good to go. I'll make it full screen.
It's not how far or fast you go, it's who follows you. This summer, 5 of Instagram's best photographers rode for 5 days.
Okay, let me make it full screen. I'll play it from the beginning. All right, now you guys watch this campaign and then type in the chat about what is Mercedes-Benz trying to do to create that premium pricing.
It's not how far fast you go, it's who follows you. This summer, 5's best photographers will hit the road for 5 days each, behind the wheel of the highly anticipated Mercedes-Benz CLA. Every post they share will count, because whoever gets the most likes during their week keeps the CLA. To watch the 5 journeys and support your favorite, follow at MBUSA on Instagram, and then apply to win a CLA yourself. Your Instagram feed will be your portfolio. If it best reflects the spirit of a CLA, not only will you take the 6th journey, you also keep the car. So take a chance. Take the moment. Take the wheel.
All right. So you guys looked at this campaign. It is more on the social media part is where they landed up with. Now, can you guys take a guess on what they're trying to do? How they're trying to uh, drive this campaign? What is the purpose? Any guesses? Why on Instagram? Okay, Yunus is saying go out and enjoy the drive. All right, fair enough. But you can see that they have targeted Instagram. Why Instagram, by the way? Is the target audience present on Instagram? Okay, Nilesh is saying probably young people are there. Okay, fair enough. So there is a lot of young crowd on Instagram, and therefore Mercedes has kept something in mind to be among the young. Now, why so? Why Instagram? They want to make them. They want them to make the reel. Okay, that's fair. So maybe there can be a lot of engagement in the process, is what Nilesh is saying. What else? Anyone? Any thoughts? Your own perspective? Why Instagram? That is clear. Maybe there is a lot of young audience. Is the target audience there on Instagram? I mean, people who will buy Mercedes Benz. All right. So there is an interesting part over here, which I think Nilesh was also trying to touch upon. Along with what Yunus mentioned about go out and enjoy the drive. Now, of course, Mercedes-Benz is trying to put forward, that this is probably going to be a nice thing to own, but they're also telling this at a platform where they are kind of, there is a lot of young target audience. These young target audience are people who are aspirers. Okay, we are aspiring for things, and not everyone will get it. Okay, now the concept over here is exclusivity, therefore. And Rahul has also kind of mentioned about targeting the young and wealthy. So over here, not everyone is wealthy. So over here, you have exclusivity being demonstrated. Everyone knows about the Mercedes-Benz CLA, but only few people can afford it. Okay, that is the way they are positioning Mercedes-Benz. And therefore, there will be a particular positioning of the brand, a pricing of the brand, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this concept you will find in many other brands also when they're kind of when you look at the luxury brand campaigns. Try to spot what was out of those four things that we saw in the pyramid. What is that one thing that is being driven through the campaign part? Okay, and on that note, let's move back to our session number 4 part, which is where we already had a look at the product and price part. So I think I'll skip these review parts. Let me take you back to the campaign analytics and some of the key concepts. So over here, let's look at a few campaigns which I think all of us have witnessed. We know about them. Now, all of us, we know about Nano, right? There was a time when middle-class families in India had 3 options, which is WagonR, Alto, and Maruti 800. This is where Tata came in and tried to kind of achieve the fact, which is if we can have a car which every family can afford, then this is what Nano would be. However, in reality, what happened was Nano sale is what you can see over here for a few quarters from May 10 till June 11, and there was an up and down. It was sometimes it was picking up, and then it could not really pick up on the mass level. Maybe 10,012 was the highest level of sales in April 2011, which got sold. Okay, so never really picked up. Can you guys take a guess on why this happened? Why could Nano not scale like Maruti 800 or WagonR Alto? What went wrong in case of Nano? Your pointers, and don't worry about being right or wrong, just your thought process. What went wrong in case of Nano? Okay, Nilesh has a very important point. They positioned it as a cheap car, no power rather than affordable. Okay, fair enough. Price is what Madhuri is saying, couldn't scale up. Okay, but couldn't scale up nothing because people started thinking that that this is not a tag which they want for their family. Okay, yeah. So over here, there are also some technical points as well, which Rahul mentioned, that safety was an issue. Maybe the power is something which I mentioned. Total cost was higher than the revenue is what Kharavilla Panda is saying. All right, fair enough. So there are quite a few points. One point which probably, if you look at from the perspective of, if you look back at Maruti 800, now in the 90s or beginning of the 90s, the car was a luxury in India, especially for the middle class. Now, that is where if a few families had Maruti 800, then that was also kind of a luxury at what price it was kind of coming in. So this is where people started figuring out that, their affordability was going up. Nano came in. Nano was kind of giving the thing at a low price. There were some problems with the product, safety, tech, and all was a concern. But at the same time, the part was that this is where you're going to tag your family as being owning a cheap car. So this is where things were kind of not going into the intended part. Also, there is a point from Nazdeen, which is there was a special engine used in the car which couldn't be mass produced. All right, fair enough. That's a good point as well. So overall, a good thought, but couldn't scale up. Now, similarly, let me tell you about another campaign. Look at this one. Dove is a major brand, and I think all of us anyways know about it. What happened was Dove had been one of the famous beauty brands in the country, and they have made their ads, campaigns, very good campaigns. Here they made a campaign which was about promoting body positivity and issues revolving around it. So this was in 2018. So what they did was that the bottles in which Dove products are going, let's say the shampoos and all, they will be kind of depicting various shapes and sizes, and that everyone is good to go. This is the real beauty part. But actually, the campaign was taken not in that fashion, and it went wrong. There was a lot of content which started going on the let's say social media. People started putting forward, that there is a kind of racial part which Dove is trying to kind of cut through over here. That all the bottles are white colored bottles and so on and so forth. So this is something which is where Dove faced a setback. And just like Nano, this campaign also kind of failed miserably for Dove. Then they changed it. They did go for a quick revamp. One last example that I'll show you is from Maggie. Now, do you guys remember there was a setback for Maggie recently when what was the issue, if anyone remembers? There was a specific concern in the product which was being raised, and from 50% plus market share, they went down to almost zero. Their products got banned. People were not, ingredient lead was the problem. So over here, that so strong was the setback that Maggie went to almost 0% market share. Patanjali was also kind of picking up at that point of time. Other competitors also started aggressively their campaign. They tried to kind of gain the market share back. And in my case, what happened was my room partner during that time was the person who was the brand manager for Maggie based out in Mumbai itself. I mean, they had a big team. He was one of the brand managers looking at certain regions. Okay, he was looking at West and the region regarding Maharashtra, Goa, and Gujarat is what he was looking at. And then it was a terrible time for Maggie. It took them around the next 3 to 4 years, 5 years to kind of get back, not to where they were in 50% plus market share, but then close to 20-30% market share is what they're having at this point of time. So still kind of the journey is going on, but obviously they did make a comeback from the setback. And over here, why I was telling you these stories is because when it comes to marketing campaigns and campaign analytics, we are talking about top of the funnel part mostly, and we are dealing with big problems. We are trying to create a perception, or we want to change a perception. So here, when we look at the campaign part, either it will be about awareness. We want to reach out to more people. We want to create our make people aware. we want to generate their interest, or we want to change their awareness and interest which they have based on the new perception that we want to create. Now, as a marketing analytics person, I would want to look at, are we able to do this successfully or not? So this is where we would want to measure the ROI and the effectiveness of the campaign. So this becomes a very important task as well as a very interesting task. That is what campaign analytics is all about. Now, in order to do that, we need to look at the marketing channels. If we understand the marketing channels better, then we also can understand the campaign parts better. Okay, so let's look at the oldest channel. Now, you guys take a guess. I think earlier also we would have discussed this. The oldest channel used for marketing formally would be which channel for marketing or advertising, let's say? Which channel do you think is the oldest one if you look at formal marketing campaigns? Television. Okay, Eunice is saying print. Yeah, so print is the one which is before the radio. After print, the radio came, and then the television came. This is how things have been happening. So if you look at the timeline, between 1825 to 1850, this is where newspapers started coming in. You'll find that this is where the advertising also started picking up formally. Then came the telephone, and the chances of, let's say, tele-advertising happening was kind of limited at this point of time because not everyone was having a telephone. But then radio started giving a fillip to reaching out to masses, then television as well. And then came the internet, which is where things change very rapidly. Now, if you see that rapid part, this is a picture which depicts it. So from the telephone per se, it took around 75 years to capture 5 crore users. But with radio did it in 38 years, television in 13 years. And since then, let's say internet, the first 5 crore users happened in 4 years. But nowadays, things can go viral. It's kind of a matter of days. In fact, and sometimes a matter of few hours that your content goes viral and reaches out to so many people. That is something which has happened on YouTube. It has happened on Twitter. It has happened on Instagram, and so on and so forth. So the place where we are, the pace at which media can take your communication to people, that has gone at a very rapid pace. Now, this is where if you want to understand the media and we want to use it for monitoring, measuring the analytics component, then we go back to our POEM framework, a very simple framework. We look at the media into 3 parts: own media, which we can control, which is generally free of cost. The paid media, where we have to pay something to run our communication, and earned media, which is generated as a effort because of own media and paid media. It can be word of mouth. So over here, generally an exercise would be media planning. So we would want to understand where should we work on own media, where we should work on paid media, how can we generate earned media, and what will be the budget required for that, along with the resources. Now, in order to understand the money and the resources component, let's take a quick guess on a few things after completing this slide. I'll show you, first of all, a few, let's say, learnings from the overall budgets, how it is being spent in India on the digital marketing side. But the approach will be like this. We would first create the own media. On this own media, it can be website, social media pages, maybe a mobile app, and so on and so forth. We want people to come to our own media, and this will scale up by running ads. So we'll run paid media ads. We'll get to reach out to the general consumers who are probably not aware about us, our products, brand, services. We'll get them to the own media. And in the process, once they come to our own media, we want to convert them. They will become our customers. Maybe they'll give us a positive word of mouth. And that is how the journey or the thought process would be from a marketer's point of view. Now, in order to kind of achieve this, we have to spend money. So if you look at digital media these days, most of the money is going into social media advertising, online video advertising, paid search advertising on Google and other search engines, display banners. So display advertising is an important part, and all others, let's say email, WhatsApp, SMS, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, over here, if I ask you about looking at all these areas of marketing, let's say digital or non-digital, can you tell me which will be the most cheapest channel to reach out to people in India, if you want to kind of do it digitally, okay? Cheapest type of marketing that you can do, I mean, the cheapest cost wise, with which you can actually reach out to people in digital world. Which one would that be? Take a guess. Okay, banners, social media, website, all right. Okay. SMS, okay, you're getting very close. Anything which is cheaper than SMS? Mailers, right? So email is the cheapest thing. And over here, let's look at the cost economics a little bit. And after that, we will take a break. So over here, if you look at the ROI parts, first of all, email and SMS. Now in India, typically, if you get into negotiations, okay, so let's say you want to purchase a SMS marketing tool because you want to do promotions, then one SMS is roughly costing you 10 paisa. 10 to 12 paisa is generally the negotiation in the market. If you look at email, that is 2 paisa. 2 to 3 paisa is where all the email marketing tools are working. On WhatsApp, close to 12 paisa per WhatsApp message. And there are many tools which are available. Okay, so HubSpot, Marketo, MailChimp, GetResponse, and so on and so forth. There are many tools which are available. Now, why I'm telling you this is because over here, think about the population. We have 140 crore people in India. Suppose we take an assumption that we want to reach out with one message to all the Indians. Then in that case, if people had their email IDs, let's say if everyone in India had their email ID, then that will be the cheapest way to reach out to them. However, let's say not everyone is having an email ID. Mobile phones are more having a better penetration. So if we do SMS, then you can roughly assume to reach 140 crore people, you need 14 crore as the budget. Okay, this is your SMS budget for one SMS to all the Indians, assuming that everyone is there having a SIM card. Okay, now if you look at, let's say, the budget for email marketing, in the same case, for all Indians, if they had their email ID, then this would have been 1/5 of 14 crore. So let's say I'm just assuming something like 2 to 3 crores. In 2 to 3 crore of rupees, you can reach out to all Indians via email. And that is roughly just for your thought process, which you should keep at the back of your mind while you're looking at your own target audience and the budget planning. Along with this, let's say there is another notion, which is if you look at paid media, which is on the ATL side, which is above the line, let's say television. Now, in case of television, what happens is, suppose we want to run our ads on Star Plus or Colors. First of all, the channel matters. So let's say Star Plus has more audience. So here the cost, how let's say the budgeting happens for the ads is, we look at the cost of 30 seconds on different time periods. So let's say I'm taking the expensive time period, which is prime time spot in the evening when people are just looking forward to their dinners. Then at that time, the cost of 30-second prime time spot at this point of time on Star Plus would be 5 lakh rupees. Okay. The weekly viewers are 18 crore people for Star Plus, and daily viewers are 2.5 crore people. Okay. So let's say if you get to a 30-second slot, maybe you would want to run slightly higher, 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, but you'll have to shell out every day those, let's say for one slot, 5 lakh rupees. So if you ran 3 times in a day, 15 lakh is gone. And probably you would be having 2.5 crore people viewing your ad, or maybe some part of it. Similarly, if you do the same thing on Colors, here again, cost of 30-second prime time slot compared to Star Plus is lower. So let's say here it is 2 lakhs. You'll be reaching, let's say, 2 crore people. But this is just to show you the thought process. The numbers might change a little bit. But our calculation would be, we would want to understand, should I go for, let's say, the approach on the digital side? Should I go for the paid media on the ATL side, or radio, or print, or any other channel? We would want to understand how much will I spend? How many people will I reach? What will be the impact in the customer journey. So if it is about awareness and maybe some level of driving the purchase as well, maybe I'll use television. If I want quick awareness in a small period of time, then definitely television, radio, print is required. Uh, if maybe the competition is less, then probably I can think about digital marketing. I can go for a cheaper version. I can try to get the databases, and can try to shoot emails, SMSs, run ads on social media, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that will be the thought process which we can carry forward. Now over here, also just one part which is on search advertising. Okay, so there is also a good question, which is Rahul is saying, are emails still effective for conversion? We have so many ML algos built into the email services like Gmail, where the promotions and spay. Okay, that's a good point. So over here, Rahul, yes, you are correct that there are a lot of things which are built to mark things as spam and so on and so forth. But along with that, what makes your email marketing effective still is, first of all, you can take an opt-in from the customer. If you have taken an opt-in from the customer, then your emails are not marked as spam. You still have a chance to reach out to the customers. So a lot of operational messages, OTPs, login information, that is anyways being communicated to customers through emails and SMS. Okay, that is one. Second is promotional as well. Still people go via the email part, because that's a cheap channel. So I'll keep on pushing it over there, and especially if I have an opt-in from the customer. So that is how we kind of take care of the email marketing part. So yes, email is a part of the strategy for product companies, service companies, as well as across B2B and B2C. Okay, B2B even more. Email marketing is very important in B2B. If I also show you some numbers from digital advertising, now this is a real life example. So I ran one ad on the left-hand side on search engine. Google is the search engine. And this ad was run for promoting a workshop, okay, stock market workshop. We want people to attend the workshop. So we spent around 2,000 rupees for just for an experiment. And over here, I think there is one error. This CPC is 40 rupees. I'll correct it. But cost per acquisition, which is where people clicked on the ad, they registered for the workshop, was 200 rupees. The cost per click, people clicking the ad itself, was 40 rupees. And the cost per 1,000 impressions is 4 rupees. That is a typical number which is there now for promoting a financial service on the search engine marketing space. Okay? Now, this is just to give you an idea, because we also discussed about SMS, email, or television part. What we can here look at is this CPM, CPC, and cost per acquisition. By looking at CPM, for example, cost per impressions or cost per view, I can start looking at comparison between television, radio, print, and let's say the email, SMS, or here the search engine ad, and see what is my cost per view, first of all, across channels. Then what is my cost per click across channels. Using this, I can have a better idea and understanding of how different channels are working for my product. Then, of course, we can look at cost per acquisition. Wherever the cost per acquisition is the lowest, that is the channel I want to put more budgets into. Okay. So on that note, I think this is where let's take a break for now. We will catch back in 15 minutes. 15 minutes, I think, should be good to go. So let's catch back in 15 minutes. Then probably we'll take it forward from here and look at a few other things which are there from the campaign analytics perspective. Okay. So let's catch back in 15 minutes. It's 8:25. So let's catch back at 8:40. All right, everyone. Are we back? Shall we start with the next part? So over here, I'll just set it up for the discussion that we had on impressions, analytics, which is related to clicks, uh, as well as a few things which are applicable. The same concepts apply to actually the email marketing part as well as the SMS marketing part. So I'll try to kind of open LinkedIn over here and show you the LinkedIn marketing analytics. Um, and then we look at some specific components. So we look at uh, impressions, how are they being reported, the clicks and the content part, along with the competitive analytics side. Similar to that, we can kind of look at the other areas, which is email marketing, which is where we can pick up the same concepts and apply it from decision-making perspective. Okay. So over here, what I'll do is I'll just let me just open LinkedIn. I'll share the screen then, and I'll kind of take you through the LinkedIn marketing analytics first. And then if the time permits, we'll also see the email marketing, which is there via MailChimp. I think my laptop is just loading up with. Okay, by the time this is loading up, let me just narrate on what are the things which are component of LinkedIn marketing analytics. So over here, what happens is on LinkedIn, we can create a page of our own, which is basically a business page, or you can have a profile of your own through which you can manage the page. Now, what happens is in the case of a business page, you get some analytics which is free of cost. So even if you have not taken any paid services from LinkedIn, then also you get certain analytics for your business page. And then there are certain things which are available when you kind of go for their paid reporting. So over here, what I'll show to you is the part which is available on the free of cost part itself. And you will find that there are a lot of matrices which are available to you free of cost, and you can take good amount of decision making on the basis of those areas. You can decide on how to scale your content approach. You can decide on how to go about the products and services on LinkedIn. Okay. I think laptop is still stuck with LinkedIn getting opened. Let me see if this works out. Otherwise, we'll have to skip this. Okay, let me try once again. Okay, just excuse me for a few minutes. I think still there is some problem at my end. I guess still it's not working out for me. I'm not able to share my screen. There is some problem with Zoom itself. Okay, if there's someone from Upgrad over here, can you help setting this up? Okay, I think finally it's working. All right, guys, I think now it should be good to go. So I'll just log in into LinkedIn. I'll show you a page which is created for our company itself. And we'll see the analytics for that business page. You'll find that this is divided into 5 reports, which is what you can get in the free account as well. And you can scale it up further with the paid account part. Okay, so LinkedIn has the LinkedIn Paid Ads Manager, which is for paid advertising. You call it LinkedIn Campaign and Manager as well. So that is the part where you put budgets and run your advertising. The analytics on with respect to the business page aspect, you can anyways look at it in the LinkedIn Campaign Analytics section. Okay. So I'll log in with my individual account, and over here, under one profile, you can manage multiple business pages. All right, so over here, if you look at this profile, under this profile, I have 3 pages which are being shown on the left hand side. I'll click on one. Let's say I'm taking you to FinTalks. Now, over here for the company page, we can have our admin view. So over here, I'm the admin, so I can kind of look at the admin part. You will find that on the right hand side, first of all, there is some analytics dashboard which is coming in. Okay, now this is available to you. And it is giving you a few things, which is search appearances. This is being reported. So basically, you can consider this as your share of voice, which is happening. Then unique visitors to your page over the last 30 days. Any new followers, impressions of the post done, custom button clicks, which is where people are clicking on that button, which is taking them to the website from your page, and any new leads which have been generated if there is a campaign which have been done to capture leads. Okay. Now, this is one part, which is the analytical dashboard. The next part is if you go over here and click on the analytics section. So over here, what LinkedIn provides is 5 different reports: visitors, followers, leads, content, and competitors. Now let's look at visitors, and what we will do is probably we'll look at a particular time period. So let's say last 365 days, you can export this data into an Excel file. And you can look at the metrics. Okay, so let's say we are looking at page views which have happened either via desktop or mobile app for this particular page. And broadly, what we see is there is a decline which is happening over a period of time because the activity on the page is something which we have minimized. Okay, so over here, that is being reflected over here. Now, who are these visitors? I can get to know by their job function. I can also look at the location from where people are visiting. Okay, so I can look at the location part. We can look at the company size where they're working. We can look at the seniority. Okay, so what kind of designation where people are with respect to my traffic. Okay, so these are some important cuts which we can use to analyze how's the traffic which is coming to my LinkedIn page. Now, out of these people, how many of these are following us, and how is the follower metric going? We can also look at the same breakup for the followers. Where are they coming from, which company, and so on and so forth. A new thing which has been introduced over here is, this part, which is the LinkedIn analytics part. You can see the recent people who are kind of following us on, I can see Nazneen over here. So just followed on the page. And over here, apart from this, we can get lead information. Now on my page, I don't have any lead capturing being done from here. So I don't have the lead information. The content information is anything which is posted, you will get to see their reactions, impressions, comments, and repost. Okay, so currently we have not been posting anything for the last month or so. So no data as such, but at least you should be aware about. Here are the impressions, clicks, engagement rate, all these things that we discussed are being captured over here. The last part is competitors, a new section, fairly new, which is where you can add your competition. You can monitor against them how many followers you are getting, how many followers they're having, how much is the engagement happening for your benchmarked competitors, how many posts they are doing on an average in a month, and what is trending in among these competitors. Okay, so this is something which is a free of cost report, which is under the analytics part, but at least you should be aware about from your marketing analytics point of view. Okay, so here the metrics that we were looking at, impressions, clicks, engagement rate, all those things are available via social media itself. Now, taking it forward from here, we could have looked at also from MailChimp or email marketing side. Probably I'll see if I can do it towards the later half of this session. The last half an hour. For now, I'll take you through a concept which is called as the nurturing part, which is where email marketing is being very frequently being used. The concept will be as similar to, let's say, on LinkedIn Analytics, we were looking at certain numbers. How many people are visiting the page, how many people are clicking, how many people are getting generated as a lead, and so on and so forth. So here, this is basically a lead nurturing process is what we call it as, or you can say lead management. The idea is people are prospects. Maybe they're not aware about our products and services. We make them visitors. We attract their attention through content. We make them visitors, maybe offline or online. Then these visitors, we want to convert them. So here, maybe we need some different content. So these people might get interested. Some of these might become our customers who will buy our products and services. Now, we would want to look at this process entirely. We call it a marketing or a sales funnel. And can we automate the entire process so that people move from prospects to visitors to leads to customers? This is the journey of a marketer. And as a marketing analytics person, I would like to support at looking at the conversion rates at each stage, looking at some important matrices, which will help us scale. So over here, in order to appreciate this concept, let's look at this quick video, which is about the concept of marketing automation. Let me play this in YouTube. In fact, there is a series of 2 videos. Let me just take you through them. You'll find them. These are quite interesting ones to look at. Very simply, they're depicting about the concept. Okay. Let me play this marketing automation concept part first. And through this video, you will see that there is quite a decent use of email marketing, SMS marketing, WhatsApp, in tandem with social media and search. And we can automate majority of the part of the process, but not everything. There is human intervention still required. Okay. So let's look at this one to look at the concept of marketing automation. If there is an ad or something, we'll skip it. Otherwise, I think we should be good to go. It's not a very lengthy video. It's a short one. Let me skip this ad.
So, you've built a stunning, optimized website for your business. Let me guess how it works. Your marketing team devotes every day driving visitors and turning them into leads, and your sales team spends its time collecting, qualifying, organizing, and chasing those leads. not very efficient. So, you've built a stunning, optimized website for your business. Let me guess how it works. Your marketing team devotes every day driving visitors and turning them into leads, and your sales team spends its time collecting, qualifying, organizing, and chasing those leads. Not very efficient. Marketing wants to get on with what they do best, building and executing creative campaigns. And sales wants to focus on what they do best, selling your product. So how do you make both teams happy? Well, the solution is marketing automation. By automating all the repetitive processes, you enable your teams to focus on doing what they do best, bringing new customers and making more sales. You align marketing with sales and empower both teams to increase ROI and revenue without wasting time on manual drudgery. So how does marketing automation work? Imagine you're selling a personal fitness plan package. Thousands of people visit your website with various levels of interest. Unfortunately, 98% of those visitors won't be ready or willing to buy right away. So how do you capture their interest? With lead generation. Let me show you how it works. When someone visits your site, you offer them a free download of your top 10 morning exercise routines. To download, all they have to do is give you their email address and a few other bits of personal information. And that's it. You've just captured or generated a new lead. Once you generate a lead and they match your specific conditions, they're added to a personalized email drip campaign, designed to gradually warm them up from cold lead, someone uninterested in your business, to warm, someone who's sales ready. Here's how you could set it up. One day after downloading your exercise routines, your workflow automatically sends them an email with your killer abs in 10 minutes video. 2 days later, it sends them your top 10 healthy fitness recipes blog post. A few days later, it sends the Create a Personal Fitness Plan checklist resource. By nurturing your customers in this way, you develop a relationship, as well as engage them with your business and your product, gradually heating them up as leads. Then, you strike while the lead is warm, offering them what you know to be key to conversion. For instance, you know that most people purchase your workout package after attending your webinar. This is what we call an aha piece of content. So at this stage in the workflow, your leads are invited to register for your next webinar, how to plan your best workout routine. After attending the webinar, these leads are now tagged in your database as people who, quote-unquote, watched FitPlan webinar, and can automatically be sent website content that is even more personalized to them. So by now, your lead is likely to be sizzling. This is the best time for the system to automatically import them into a CRM, like Salesforce. Congratulations! With the invaluable help of marketing automation workflows, you've just sold a fitness package. End of story, right? Nope. Marketing automation has way more to offer. Why not turn this one-time customer into a loyal brand ambassador? Firstly, you can upsell on their first purchase by using email automation to promote the next version up, the Pro Fitness Plan package. Then you can cross-sell necessary or optional accessories, like protein shakes and other food items to go along with their new clean diet. And finally, you can offer a cycle-based sell. For example, promote the Bikini Training Program to your female customers, a seasonal fitness training program to get in shape right before summer starts. Now your ROI is shot through the roof. By automatically upselling, cross-selling, and cycle selling, you've turned a one-time purchase into a lifelong customer. So you see, marketing automation workflows help you nurture, warm, and ready your leads for a sale.
All right. So one point that they have mentioned is called as workflows. These workflows are basically the automated communications that we set up with various tools. Now, these tools typically come with the CRM platforms, customer relationship management platforms, or we assemble things together. Okay. So there is something for email marketing, something for SMS, WhatsApp. Then we create a workflow. Now, this workflow part in very short, quick demo is kind of published through this video. Let me play this one up for you to just demonstrate the concept of workflow and how easy it is to kind of create in real life. Let's look at this one. I guess this should load faster. Right, there might be an ad, so we'll skip that. But
do you have the courage to make 8 lakhs a month?
Okay, let's wait for this getting skipped.
If you're trying to wrap your head around how marketing automation works and you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all the jargon, stick around. I'm going to break it down in 60 seconds. Okay, so let's say you're a B2B marketer and you run a lot of events. If you were to map that whole campaign process out onto a whiteboard, it might look a little something like this. Okay, so you start with your target audience, let's say senior IT professionals in Melbourne.
Okay, let me just replay this one. I think the screen is stuck.
Wrap your head around how marketing automation works and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all the jargon, stick around. I'm going to break it down in 60 seconds. Okay, so let's say you're a B2B marketer and you run a lot of events. If you were to map that whole campaign process out onto a whiteboard, it might look a little something like this. Okay, so you start with your target audience, let's say senior IT professionals in Melbourne in the financial services space who have opted into receiving communication from us. Next, you want to send out to that list an email invite to which one of three things can happen. If they accept the invite, we're going to send them a welcome email. We're going to alert the salesperson to place a follow-up call, and then we're going to send an SMS reminder the day before the event. If they decline, we're going to send them a see you next time email and then move them out of the campaign. And then if they don't respond, we're going to run some display ads on their social media page for 7 days. If it works, we move them into stream A. If it doesn't work, we move them into stream B. And there you have it, a multi-wave, multi-channel experience. Now, in the olden days, you would then go and execute this whole process manually using spreadsheets and Outlook reminders and a whole bunch of different applications. With marketing automation, you do this all out of a single platform that you access via the internet. So basically, you go to a website, you build out the whole workflow. The technology, of course, then makes it very simple. So it's all drag and drop, set the decision logic, load up your contacts, load up your artwork, hit go, and the whole thing runs automatically, which is why it's called marketing automation. And then, of course, you can run a whole lot of campaigns at the same time for different segments in your customer base, across different stages of the customer life cycle, across different parts of the business. And that's
Correct. So that's it. So over here, you can see that, that workflow part, the tools itself give you the functionality, which is where you will create kind of a flowchart based communication, taking decisions. It's a tree logic which we build in. We built it for once, keep on refining it over a period of time. Even that is the process for what chatbots work. But then our email, SMS, marketing communications, which are there on search engines, notifications on app, websites, and so on and so forth, they're all kind of automated to make this consistent for all the customers. That is the part which is called as marketing automation, which was being shown in these two videos. Now, the last part that we have for our discussion is the marketing mix modeling. How we'll do that is I'll take you through the parts, which is what we started off in our first session, where we looked at product market fit. And then also we looked at the marketing mix concept, product, price, promotion, and place, the 4 Ps. We will kind of try to create a marketing mix together for IKEA as a brand. For that, I'll kind of open a breakout room, but just a quick retake on our discussion. So marketing mix, I think you guys would have gone through in your various sessions. We look at the target market. We take 4 key decisions for executing our campaigns. We decide about the product. We make it clear what the product features would be. We decide about the pricing and promotion strategy. We look at the place where customers can interact with the communication, buy the products and services. Now, this is where typically, this is how it might look like. We might first want to look at what solution does the customer want and need, then try to create a product on the basis of that. This product can be, let's say on the right-hand side, you can see a depiction. A product can be designed for core benefit. Okay, so let's say we are designing a real estate offering, a house to be sold. The core benefit is shelter and safety, but we don't generally create only houses for shelter and safety. we create a basic product, which will have a room dimension, unit plan, floor plan, 1 BHK, 2 BHK, and so on and so forth. That is a basic product. Now, some customers would be interested in further value. For example, expected product might be we want car parking space, quality of construction should be good, and so on and so forth. So this becomes the expected product level from the customer's point of view. An augmented product is where people are not just looking for, let's say, the expected product level, but people are looking for brand name, status, recognition associated with it, amenities, and so on and so forth. So some brands would want to create their positioning at the augmented product level. And the last part is potential product level, where maybe some customers are looking forward to not just the product for their usage, but maybe from value appreciation perspective, resale, rental value. So they have notions beyond the general public. So this is where when you're designing the product, we can think about which is the level where our product offering resides. Similarly, in case of pricing, we look at the quadrant, which we discussed earlier. How will be our approach to the market when we have a particular product in place? What is the value contribution, or what is the price sensitivity? Are we going for premium positioning? Are we going for economic positioning or mass market? And so on and so forth. The next part would be looking at the place. Now, for the place part, either the customer buys directly from the company, or there is a distribution channel in place. So typically for B2C companies, we'll have wholesalers and retailers. Let's say working in India, if you want to sell everywhere in India for a company like Britannia, then of course we need to have wholesalers. Then one wholesaler will cater to multiple retailers, and the consumers will get the products from retailers. So this is where we need to think about the ease of transaction, consistency of pricing, experience, service, and so on and so forth. Those become an important component of the marketing mix as well. And the last part is the promotion part, which is where we can have ATL, BTL, or digital, combining them along with our sales team, the sales promotions, public relations, or media agency. How will we reach out to the market in terms of our communication? Now, if we club them all together, we might come up with something like this, which is the 4P, or a marketing mix for, let's say, a smartphone in this particular example. So you can look at product part. First of all, large handheld phone is being kept as one of the featured part. And we are looking at 4G, 5G compatibility, high contrast screen, camera is easy to find, and so on and so forth. There is a base model with, let's say, upgradations available. On the place part, people can buy it at various places. Let's say over here, they have mentioned about even magazine advertisements. Promotion is via digital means as well as the television, the offline part. But overall, the thought process of a marketer, and therefore the marketing analytics person, would be to capture this marketing mix, to look at the marketing mix, and then create their plans. Okay. So over here, we'll do an exercise for a company called IKEA. Now, how many of you know about IKEA, or you have been to IKEA store over here in this batch? Maybe in Mumbai location, or Hyderabad, Bangalore, or maybe Gurgaon as well, Delhi, or somewhere else, maybe outside India. How many of you have been to IKEA? Okay, by the time you guys are putting forward your responses. So IKEA is a Swedish brand. They have they are in the furniture market. They are looking forward to penetrate India, scale their presence in India, which is where you guys are kind of looking at designing the marketing mix for targeting young millennials in India. So our target audience is defined. We are looking at millennials, which is generation Y. For that, you need to decide on the 4 Ps and look at whether you look at ATL, BTL, digital, all the things for promotion, or maybe some specific things. Okay. Now, IKEA has been there in the Indian market
Hey guys, what's the activity?
Vijay, I think are we in a group? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
think
I thought
this
the lecture was going on.
maybe
No, I think I no, I think because if you see Telegram, the recorded YouTube link
Uh-huh.
has also come up. That means I think the call has ended.
नहीं यार, this is a
नहीं
breakout session.
काहे का यार अरे यार
This is a breakout. The last slide you all didn't see. There was some activity, no? I thought somebody might throw some light on that.
I
decide
think
the
he
four
created
P's.
group for some activity.
Some
Dis-
4 Ps something, and then there was
yeah,
something
yeah.
else.
Oh, is it? Okay.
किस चीज का ब्रेकआउट यार है
I have no idea. I was not paying attention actually.
सेम
Absolutely, everyone.
So you want that IKEA kind of 4P solution,
Yeah.
that activity. So they want to penetrate in India. What is a 4P? Let me Google it. Product,
Four
price,
P: place, product,
Product.
price,
promotion, and place. Okay.
promotion.
Promotion and place. So product, anyway, it's a furniture, right?
Well, do they have all the products which are required in the market? Have they done the survey? Is there a gap?
In India,
See, Vinay, IKEA's marketing strategy is very simple. They want to target only the young urban class people, especially the ones which are living in the, cities, the people who are moving across the cities. So,
migrants,
yeah,
migrants
so
especially.
basically the migrant class people, and what they do is they always try to set up a big kind of a warehouse and big setup place at some place which is little outside the city, not within the city. So that is their first target segment, and that is how they
So
started
promotion
with
must be
it.
the urban areas, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So
And price
and
must be below the median of the price furniture, right?
yeah, and price is of course yes below the median. Uh, from a product point of view, I think it's like I think you all must have experienced, but I have personally experienced IKEA products. I have also bought it, so it's like all the finish and the quality and all that is good, but longevity is not there. But their target segment is like people who just use and throw kind of thing, right?
Got it. Got it. Got
Yeah.
it.
So 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 that's why they keep the prices low and the finish and fit is very nice, looks very good. So that's why people go and buy IKEA furniture
I, I
and
think
they
most of the
keep.
product is not made up of wood. That's why.
Yeah, it is a factory made wood, right? It's
Factory
not
made,
like
yeah.
it's not
Or
like a normal regular furniture.
cardboard or
So
imported material.
yeah, it's they call it engineered wood.
Yeah, engineered
Okay.
wood.
Yeah,
Compressed wood. Some.
yeah, and the designs are good. So mostly people go for the sake of design. And another thing that I have seen in terms of uh, product marketing, if you see, then what mostly they have done is that they have lots of offers, like the things which go sell regularly. So on those, they keep on rolling out the offers.
Loyalty kind of program.
Yeah. So once you become IKEA customer, you will always want to buy something or the other from IKEA only. So that is also one of the important things what they have done. So yeah, this is what comes to my mind.
So what
Promotion, I
sir
think
want from us?
I have seen print ads also. I mean, I have newspaper at my home, so I have seen print ads also. IKEA full page ads they give. They give full page ads only when they are launching something, like some new product they are launching, or some mega offer is going on, or new store they are opening. That time they give full page ad on almost all newspapers. So yeah, that's what I have seen.
And on the ATL part, I think they are largely present on the bus stops and hoardings.
Yeah.
You
Because
see
the
them
type
there.
customer they are targeting, they feel that the major viewers are present there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
the out of home thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So promotions are print and OOH out of house and products of furniture, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not just furniture, it's also a lot of home furnishing related stuff. Home decor and other things are all. I mean, see, IKEA has everything what you need at your home, right?
Yeah.
So, uh, in fact, what I saw is that most people, when you visit an IKEA store, most people will end up buying things which they don't need. Okay. So, which is more of decorative stuff and lots of small things, and
In
they have lot
you,
of yeah.
sorry, Yunus, before I forget, I thought I'll just interrupt. I think
Yeah.
in the product part, we can consider their proposition of food also, because that is another 20% revenue generation for them. Other than their store or other than the furniture, the people who go there, their most revenue is generated from the food counters, at least in India per se. Because
Is it 20%? I don't know that much whether it is really 20% of the revenue. I
yes,
don't know.
it is, because
Ah.
उनका वो they consider that also as a part of their product plan. वो
Ah.
कौन सा वो Swedish food we offer बोल के they do all that hangama there.
Acha, okay. Possible because
And
see,
at least in India, it is working well for them because
for at least for
Indians, we
window
are very
shoppers.
foodie ना. हम जाते हैं, first हमको क्या चाहिए, खाना चाहिए. बाद में फर्नीचर ले या नहीं ले वो अलग बात है.
जो विंडो शॉपिंग करता है उसके लिए
हाँ,
ज्यादातर.
अंदर चले गए तुम, you take 4-5 hours to go from counter number 1 to their counter number 200 या जो भी रहता है उनका.
they also have lot of stuff for kids, if you have noticed. Okay, so I think majorly I have seen like you end up buying lots of accessories. Like when you go to IKEA store now, you end up buying lots of accessories, small things which you never thought कि हाँ ये भी लगता है, ये भी चाहिए, that kind of things. So definitely furniture is one big segment, but all these accessories and small items, decorative items, those are the products which and you know what they do is these products which sell in high numbers. Okay, like for example, I'll give you an example of a chair. Okay, they have one chair which sells in high number. It's like a single chair which is like a it gives a royal look kind of thing. So that chair sells in high numbers. So they keep on advertising that chair on their website. If you go to chair section on the website, the landing page, you will see that chair only. Okay, so so what I want to say is that they have all these different items where they keep the prices low and they try to promote the high selling items frequently on the website and on their app when you go there. So that's their, I think, promotion strategy, and especially to people who are members of IKEA. Once you register and once you log into their portal, so you keep on getting the notifications on the high selling items. Okay, so if some offer is there on something which is a high selling item, then definitely they will keep on sending the offers. So that's the point.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think another point which I observed is वो सेम प्रोडक्ट बहुत सारी जगह पे रखते जाएंगे. सपोज एक क्लॉक है तो एट काउंटर नंबर 1 रहेगा, फिर हम काउंटर नंबर 20 पे फिर रख देंगे, फिर 30 पे फिर रख दिया उसी को. मतलब by the time you are at the billing counter, you end up buying that particular product because you have seen it multiple times and you have liked it. So it's not just with one product, ऐसे mixture करेंगे वो लोग. Curtains के section में कुछ और रख दिया जो तुमको शायद पहले पसंद आ गया. Like you are telling that chair. तो ऐसे तो बहुत सारी जगह पे रखते जाएंगे ऐसे अलग-अलग to throughout your store का journey.
But
That's right. That's right.
you know, I think their supply chain is also making a playing a vital role in their journey. So I think they keeping their
Absolutely.
supply. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So their supplier within the certain territory so that they can save the cost, because means producing stuffs at a lower cost even in the market where you do not have natural customer, it may they are taking a higher cost for the advertisement, for the showroom and all. So I think the supply chain is a major player for keeping
No,
that particular price.
one more. I mean, with supply chain, then Nilesh, one more point is there, which I just want to add here. I recently ordered one cupboard. Okay, big four wardrobe cupboard. And the day the cupboard arrives, immediately you get the call, and the next day the guy comes and fits your entire wardrobe. It's a huge wardrobe which I had ordered, and it got fitted in 1 hour. Okay,
Wow.
so one and a half hour or something. Two guys were there, and they did it. Okay, now so what I want to say is that the time it takes to deliver and fit everything and get away with your furniture job is very short. Okay, so I think I think professor has joined, I think. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I did join. I saw that you guys were going through the discussion. There was some disconnection over here.
No, we didn't realize whether we got disconnected or whether the room started. We didn't realize, so we started
Okay,
talking.
no worries, no worries. Thanks. I think you guys went through it. So basically, I was just mentioning about an exercise which we wanted to do together.
Yeah.
It was about IKEA as a brand. I think you guys are aware about IKEA as a company. And for the time, as of now, we don't have time. But what I've done is I've given a brief introduction about what is the situation of IKEA in the presentation, and then what is the consumer preferences in India, which I think you guys can also have your own preferences when you buy furniture. Look at that exercise, maybe in your free times, maybe in a group or individually. The results are kind of there in the last slide, which was after the discussion from last group. Okay, so that was the only part which was kind of left for our discussion today. Otherwise, I think overall we have covered all the topics. And just wanted to take your 2 minutes on the TE part. The term and exam, may I know when is it happening for you guys?
It's on the Friday. I mean, the coming Friday.
Correct.
Friday and Saturday we have the exam. So I guess
Saturday, Sunday.
yeah.
Okay.
Basically Friday to Sunday there are slots. Yeah.
Okay, so fair enough. So over here for the from the term and exam perspective, we have let's say the exam based on mostly the content which what we have covered in the presentations. Okay, so overall these 4 sessions is what you can refer to in the presentation and the recording of the sessions. That should be good enough for you to attempt your term and exam. Just in case if you want to kind of go through an additional reading, then this is where you can refer to the UGL part, the platform part. Okay. So I think that is it from my side. If you guys have any other queries or concerns, do let me know. Otherwise, I wish you best of luck for your simulation, which kind of ends tomorrow. So just complete that on time. And yeah, then let's prepare for the term and exam, and wish you best of luck for that.
Professor, if you could give us some sample, like some indicative kind of a question, like what kind of what kind of question? Yeah.
So suppose, let's say if you look at a typical kind of questions. So questions would be, let's say you're given a context, and the context can be of a company, of a product in a particular market. Let's say the target market is India, and then you are talking. You're given a question which covers let's say a particular section. Let's say business analytics. Then what are the ways in which you would look at capturing the business analytics for a particular product for a target market? This is a very broad question, which is where if you look at the framework, we started off with descriptive, diagnostic, prescriptive, and predictive analytics. Okay, so that is how you can start picking up from the concepts that we discussed and put it in this kind of a context. So there will be a context which is given to you. Then you look at out of those 4 session PPTs, which is the framework that you would want to fit over here, and then structure your response. Those are the typical ways of questions which are generally the Indian term exam. Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank
all
you.
the 4 sessions will be covered, and you can expect maybe 1 question from each of the 4 sessions. Okay. Accordingly, you can plan.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you, sir.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.